Thank you for listening to Heart Chat Stories. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to leave a comment and share these stories with someone who might need them. Each story is meant to help you pause, reflect, and think about your own relationships, how you love, how you heal, and how you grow. If you'd like more insight into the stories or want to add one to your next book club, visit graceguidance.com. You can find the full collection there, along with reflection prompts to keep the conversations going. And remember, every story in Heart Chat Stories is a chance to rediscover yourself, one honest chat at a time.
Leann and Rich, back in MySpace. Leann Edwards was excited to go to the community board meeting. She had been living in the Gardenville lofts for 2 years and really wanted to contribute to the community scene. There were so many residents between 30 and 45 who stayed active, some single, some in relationships, many in that rebuilding life phase. She passed them often in the hallway, on evening walks, or by the courtyard mailboxes. Quick conversations always sparked the same theme. We want a community. We want connection. We want to build something here. So when the flyers went up announcing the very first Gardenville Community Board meeting, Leann didn't hesitate. She circled the date and wrote a short list of ideas she hoped to share. Tonight, she wanted to be bold enough to join the board and help with the planning. She arrived a little early, the soft hum of voices already drifting from the shared lounge. The room was warm and inviting, string lights overhead, a table of snacks, and a growing group of neighbors greeting each other with shy smiles and hopeful energy. Leann signed in, grabbed a cup of lemon water, and took a seat near the front. She felt ready to contribute, ready to belong, ready to meet new people and create something meaningful. But nothing prepared her for what happened next. The door opened behind her. A hush rippled through the room. Not loud, just a shift in the air, the kind you feel in your chest before you realize something familiar has returned. Leann looked up, and the breath she'd been holding for years escaped her. Rich. He stepped inside casually, like he wasn't walking back into the life of a woman who once loved him deeply and lost him unexpectedly. His presence was still calm, still steady, broad shoulders, warm brown skin, that same quiet confidence she used to lean on. Her pulse quickened, her fingers tightened around her notebook. Of all the lofts in all the cities, he had moved into hers. Rich's eyes scanned the room, greeting a few residents, until they landed on her. Recognition bloomed, then surprise, then something softer. The meeting organizer clapped their hands. "Welcome, everyone. Please grab a seat. We're excited for this new chapter of Gardenville." Leann swallowed hard. She couldn't look away. She couldn't speak. She couldn't pretend this moment wasn't a collision of past and present. Rich approached slowly, stopping beside her row. "Leann?" His voice was gentle, disbelieving. "Is that really you?" Her heart answered before her mind could. "Yes," she whispered. "It's me." And just like that, the community meeting wasn't the only thing beginning tonight. The moderator began to speak as Rich took a seat next to Leann. It happened so fast she didn't have time to prepare. One moment she was settling in. The next she was surrounded by the familiar warmth of his cologne and the quiet strength of his presence. The heat radiating from him pulled all of her attention. Every word from the moderator sounded distant, muffled, like someone speaking underwater. People around her clapped at an announcement. Someone laughed at a joke. But Leann could barely blink, much less follow along. She forced herself to sit up straighter, breathe, and focus. When the moderator asked if anyone wanted to join the planning board, Leann raised her hand automatically. "Name?" the moderator asked. "Leann Edwards," she managed, her voice steady enough, even though her mind was anything but. The room applauded politely as her name was added to the list, but that was all she processed. The rest of the meeting passed like a blur of voices and movements she wasn't truly present for. Meanwhile, Rich looked completely fine, too fine. He chuckled at neighborhood jokes, nodded along to the improvement plans, even whispered a comment to the person on his other side. He was totally immersed in the atmosphere, as if nothing about this moment was strange, as if he wasn't sitting next to the woman he once walked away from. As if their last encounter, the confusion, the unanswered questions, the emotional bruise she carried for months, never happened. Why would he remember? Why would he feel anything at all? Leann swallowed hard and stared at the agenda on the screen, though she wasn't really reading it. Her heart whispered the truth she didn't want to admit. It was easier for him. It always had been. But she was here to heal, here to grow, here to build community, not reopen old wounds. Still, her body's reaction to him told another story entirely. When the meeting ended, the room shifted into pockets of energy. People drifted toward the refreshment table, chatted in their new groups, exchanged contact information. Leann exhaled, gathering her notebook, hoping she could slip away before... "Leann." His voice, low, warm, still familiar enough to make her inhale sharply. She turned, and there he was, Rich, studying her with a soft smile that didn't match the storm she felt inside. "It's really you," he said, stepping closer. "I wasn't sure at first." She gave a polite nod, keeping her expression perfectly neutral. "So, how have you been?" she asked, because that was the safe question, the easy question, the one that didn't expose the unanswered wounds between them. He leaned against the back of the chair, relaxed in a way she wished she could imitate. "Good, busy. I moved here a few months ago. Work's been steady, the loft's quiet. I like it." She nodded again, forcing small talk to flow like it wasn't scraping her heart on the way out. "That's good, Rich. I'm glad things are going well." "What about you?" He tilted his head, genuinely curious. "You look peaceful, like life's treating you right." She opened her mouth to answer, but someone from the new planning team waved her over. "Leann, come meet your subcommittee." She took the opportunity instantly. "Coming," she called, then turned back to Rich with a practiced smile. He chuckled softly. "You always were the one who wanted to be involved with the community." The comment landed deeper than he probably meant it to. He noticed things about her, always had. Even now, after everything. Leann's smile tightened, but she handled it gracefully. "Yeah, it's important to me." She took a tiny step back, ready to excuse herself fully, but Rich's voice followed her. "Hey, before you go, would you want to grab coffee sometime?" He paused. "And is your number still the same?" The question briefly paralyzed her nervous system, not because it was bold, but because it was familiar. He used to ask with the same softness, the same sincerity, the same possibility. Rich's expression shifted, hopeful but cautious, like he wasn't sure if he had the right to ask anything of her anymore. In the noise of the refreshment tables and laughter-filled clusters, the moment felt strangely still. "Leann," he said quietly, "I'd really like to catch up, if you're open to it." Her heart pressed against the memories she thought she'd healed. She wasn't ready, but she also wasn't entirely closed. Her lips parted. Thank you for listening to Heart Chat Stories. Every story is written with love, to heal, to inspire, and to remind you that new beginnings are always possible. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so others can find healing through story. Until next time, keep your heart open and your spirit lifted.